best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Well, you know it's the off-season when news comes in late in the evening. This is news that came in last night, or probably around 10 o'clock. And I wasn't going to do a video on it, but because I had another video scheduled to go out this morning, but I thought, let's just talk about this briefly because it is everyone's favorite topic, Dave Gettleman. So it looks as if Dave Gettleman is going to get a new lease on life in another year as the Giants general manager. I think they were more concerned about his age and his health and then his performance, but the Giants have basically come out and said that Dave Gettleman is going to be the general manager going into 2021. Now, it's a good thing and a bad thing in my mind. You're kind of walking a razor's edge here. Dave Gettleman had some wonderful free agent signings, which is not normally his forte, and most of his draft choices contributed this year. And that's a good thing. And if you look at your picture of the general manager over a 1 year period of time, you're like, wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty awesome. But again, we always need to look at the totality of the entire picture and not just a snapshot in time. I mean, some of his draft choices have not panned out. We're still waiting on some of his players from his second draft to progress. His first draft is not looking, stellar. He signed Nate Solder. He signed Patrick Omame. I can never say that name. He brought in John Stewart. He's for the amount of hits he has, he probably has just as many misses. But in regards to building a team with continuity with Joe Judge, the smart thing would have been to bring back Dave Gettleman, because maybe there is a simpatico relationship between these two men that allowed them to draft as well as they did and allowed them to bring in the free agents that Judge required to help improve this team. Now, eliminating the playoff run aside, this was still a 6-10 team. And honestly, they were lucky to be 6-10. They probably should have been more 5-11. But then on the upswing, they may have potentially could have been 8-8, 9-7 if it wasn't for the meltdown in Dallas, the Tampa game, the drop in Philadelphia. So, it's a catch-22. It's a no-win situation. But if you want to keep continuity within the organization alone, it's a smart move to allow Dave Gettleman and Joe Judge to have a second year together. Because we're going to get a better idea of Joe Judge's coaching philosophy going into 2021, because honestly, the newness of Joe Judge is going to wear off. That shine and that luster on Judge is already fading a little bit because of the fact that he's been here for a year. And as you go along and you are longer with the organization, that luster decreases even more unless you start winning. So the expectations for Joe Judge next year are going to be much higher than they were this year. So we kind of have to think about that. So you know what? Am I excited about Dave Gettleman staying? No, I'm not going to sit there and say, whoa, Dave Gettleman staying. Yeah, we pulled the fast one over the rest of the league. No, not that excited about it. Am I upset about it? No, not that upset about it. He's done enough, I think, in last year to earn another year. But really, that he can't rest on his laurels from 2020. The Bradbury pick was a no-brainer for him because he drafted him. Blake Martinez was a fantastic pickup. I've said that day after day. The Leonard Williams situation is a fluid situation right now because of the fact that we don't know what's going to go on with the salary cap and with Leonard Williams. So, you can still chalk that up as a win for Gettleman. Nate Solder is just a hot mess. The Nate Solder situation's got to clear itself up because honestly, we are looking at probably cutting him $10.5 million in dead cap space. Because everyone forgets his contract basically paused because of him opting out with the COVID. Now, could he fill a hole over at the right tackle? Yeah, probably could. He probably could. I could see that happening. Because more than likely we're going to get rid of Kevin Zeidler. Because Kevin Zeidler, if we cut him, there's only $2.5 million of dead cap space. So we're going to save $12 million. So it would be interesting. And people are going to say, well, Kevin Zeidler is, Tim, of course he's, yeah, I know they don't play the same position. I understand that. I'm talking about cap space. So don't tell me that he's a guard and Nate's a tackle. I know that. I'm talking about cap space. So you're going to save that money with him. And also I'm talking about the fact that you still need a veteran presence on that line. Because Will Hernandez, I don't think Will Hernandez is going to be around. I mean, if we cut Will, I mean, it's not like it's a tremendous cap savings. We save $1.4 million. But his regression has been on full display. And Lemieux played better and better going into the season itself. I mean, so unless he's willing to take a backup role, I mean, I don't know if how that is going to directly play out. But like I said, if we take a look at the entire situation, Dave Gettleman staying is neither a good thing nor a bad thing. It's probably the right choice. Another giant news we're going to talk about probably later today. Jason Garrett has been requested to interview for the head coaching position with the LA Chargers. Patrick Graham has been requested by the Jets for an interview as well. So you know what? These are things I think we saw coming. I did a video a couple times saying that what's his name? Jason Garrett was going to be one and done. I still feel that. I think he just used the offensive coordinator position to stay in the league, to keep himself relevant. And what is a better way to be relevant to get another head coaching position than to be the offensive coordinator of one of the largest market teams in the league? And like I said, I think I think that was pretty much writing on the wall. At least I thought so. I took a lot of crap for it and got blasted for it, for saying, you don't know what you're talking about. He's not going to be one and done. He won't leave. No, he's a Princeton guy. He's smart enough to understand, keep yourself relevant, turn around, and then translate that back into a head coaching role, because the NFL, as we know, loves to retread head coaches. And the fact that he was somewhat successful in Dallas outside of his playoff record, and he had to deal with Jerry Jones, it makes him a good fit, and he is a good players coach. And like I said, for Patrick, I'm just glad that he's getting some interviews. I have issues hiring a gentleman who had one good season as a defensive or offensive coordinator, only because of the fact that you're not really getting a body of work. You're just hoping that you are going to land on his potential. And he could have the greatest potential, the greatest upside out of all the coaches right now interviewing. We don't know. We just kind of have to wait and see. But I got this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could subscribe, if you ring that bell, I think you know what it means, that'd be awesome.